music. Simple, effective loop. There's a magazine here. I've never seen it before. It's probably a locally published magazine. Toluca Lake, the town's main tourist attraction. This clear, beautiful lake has another side as well. It may seem like just a typical ghost story that you might find in any number of old towns across the country, but in this case, the legend is true. On a fog-bound November day in 1918, the Little Baroness, a ship filled with tourists, failed to return to port. A newspaper article from back then simply says, it most likely sunk for some reason. Despite an extensive police search, not a single fragment of the ship, nor any of the 14 bodies of passengers or crew has ever been recovered to this day. In 1939, an even stranger incident occurred. There are many pages torn out. Many corpses rest at the bottom of this lake. Their bony hands reach up towards the boats that pass overhead. Perhaps they reach for their comrades. There's a diary here. Prisoners do not feel remorse. In fact, they do not feel themselves to be villains at all. Even the most uneducated brute will use what little words he knows to justify himself. And such trifling dreams they have, flourishing even in the darkness, prisoners too are no exception. No matter how foul nor loathsome one's own life and existence may be, human nature is abiding. What a nice guy. Man, so much detail on that chalkboard. I can't make any of it out though. Probably just like prisoner names and schedules, something like that. Got a hunting rifle. I wonder if we're ever gonna use that thing. I'm not really sure what the specific purpose of the hunting rifle is. Kick that one right in the ass to finish it off. Look at this painting here. Is that the prison camp? I wonder. That dead, dull pink sky. So now we get to interact with one of the strangest puzzles, I guess, in the game. There's a cover on the ground, but I can't open it. There's only a depression left where there was probably once a handle. Can't really call this a puzzle, I suppose. But what we're gonna do is we're going to combine the wax doll, the lighter, and the horseshoe in order to make a handle for this trap door. What the hell, Team Silent? Yet another hole to jump through. I like how it just continues to ask as well, like we have a choice. What is that noise? I really hope most of the viewers here have been using a headset. Dead bodies crammed in these holes. Did that just move, or was it only my imagination? My God, in the hole. I didn't see that. The corpse smells nauseatingly of rotten flesh. Another hole. Look at all that shit on the wall there. Ugh. There's a hole in the floor. I can't see the bottom. How far does this thing go? There's a sink on the wall on one side, and a painting on the other. That looks like the painting of Toluca Prison Camp, with that dull pink sky. It's almost like we're in a variation of the room that we were just in, but now there's a gigantic hole. Another hole. Do I really have to drop through it? Man, this area is so bizarre. And really, there's a lot of parts coming up where I'm probably not going to be speaking much, because talking over the game in a lot of these segments is disrespectful, in my opinion. The game can speak for itself a lot better than I can. These tiles again, man. It really seems like many of them, if not all of them, have their own unique design. Wouldn't surprise me. Sure, let's keep going down. This kind of reminds me of Souls, in that, you know, picking up all these items in this small area signifies to me that there's going to be a tough encounter ahead. That strategic item placement. And this area ahead is the infamous labyrinth of Silent Hill 2. I can't get through here because of the wires stretched across the path. So, the thing about this place is that the map draws itself as we move along. And to be honest, it's not very helpful. Classic van transition with that Silent Hill red tint. And in here, we find Pyramid Head's room. Got some of his work hanging around here as well. Looks just like the portrait that we found in the Historical Society. And we got his weapon. We're actually going to use that. Man. Back in the Woodside Apartments, we had that screeching fan transition. I think that's the only other one in the game. And it doesn't matter which path we take here. It's always going to bring us back to this ladder. There's lots of dead ends. Lots of ways to loop back around. Coming through here on your first time is pretty intimidating. Between the music and the labyrinth itself, the respawning enemies, it's pretty daunting. And in here, we find this Blockhead contraption with different colored eyes on each side. And we're going to move this around, and as we move it around, what's going to happen is this room over here is going to rearrange. You see these slits here? We're eventually going to line those up where there's a door. And we'll be able to pass through to the other side. It's always the same on easy and normal. You're always looking for the yellow face to be upside down. But on hard and extra difficulties, it always changes. So I'm gonna have to go through some trial and error for this thing. But eventually, we'll find the right face. And we can proceed. Should only take a minute or so. Gotta be getting close. Ah. We got it.
You're alive! Maria, I thought that thing killed you. Are you hurt bad?
Not at all, silly.
Maria? That thing, it stabbed you. There was blood everywhere.
Stabbed me? What do you mean?
It chased us to the elevator, and then
James, what are you talking about?
just before, don't you remember?
James, honey, did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel?
Maria?
You said you took everything, but you forgot that videotape we made. I wonder if it's still there.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
I'm not your Mary.
So, you're Maria?
I am. If you want me to be.
All I want from you is an answer.
It doesn't matter who I am. I'm here for you, James. See? I'm real. Don't you want to touch me?
I don't know.
Come and get me. I can't do anything through these bars.
Okay. Stay right there. I'll be there soon.
Alright, so here, Maria, after being resurrected, is just bouncing back and forth from Mary to the seductive instrument of the town, created with the sole reason to persuade and test James during his trials here. And another really important thing to note is the bed and the chair, because we're going to see that later on. very important to this scene. And once we play Born from a Wish, which is Maria's scenario, we'll do that after we finish this run, we'll learn a lot more about Maria and the kind of tragic figure she is here. And here we find the wire cutters waiting for us. But, you know, Maria, even though she really does have a sense of self, she truly believes herself to be a real person. It's obviously just compilations of Mary's memories and feelings. And we're going to further understand as time goes on. But it's so sad how, you know, every time Maria is reborn, she seems to just not realize what she's doing. She's just almost being remotely controlled by the gods of the town. This music. Getting lost in here and listening to this loop over and over and over again would surely cause some level of insanity. Almost there. Check inventory. All that really matters right now are the shotgun shells, which we've amassed. That's about to be pretty critical. Especially playing on hard. Here we are. There's a newspaper on the ground. It's stained with something that looks like blood and is partially illegible. The body of a man later identified as Thomas Orozco Lumberjack, age 39, was discovered in the something bathroom, lying face up, face down. The probable cause of death was multiple stab wounds to the front of the neck and the left side of the torso by a sharp-edged weapon. The estimated time of death was somewhere between 11 p.m. and 12:30 midnight. Due to signs of struggle in the room and the lack of a murder weapon, police are considering this a homicide and have opened a murder investigation. Furthermore, given the fact that the cash in the room was untouched and Mr. Orozco had a history of drunkenness and violence, the police suspect that the motive was not robbery, but something of crime of passion.